Diet and exercise, well, we hear it all the time. You want to get into shape, you need to exercise and cut carbs. But a lot of us, including me, try again, and sometimes it just doesn't work, and then we stop. Well, today we are going to learn that it's not about just diet and exercise. It's about the food we're eating that is really causing the problem. So what do we do? Joining me to discuss all about how he lost 70 pounds eating health carbs to lose weight and gain health is Christopher Carnrick. He's also the author of Confessions of a Starchivore, available on Amazon. And Christopher Carnrick joins me now via Skype. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Andy. Glad to be here.
Well, this is a great topic, and it's everybody's favorite topic, weight loss, including mine. So I want to start off by asking, how did you get into this idea of weight loss, or should I say, how did you start your business leading up to this point in your career?
You know, Andy, I struggled with my weight since the age of 9. I was teased horribly as a kid. I was counseled as an adult. And basically, I became sick and tired with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and I had some really bad side effects from the medication. And I went on the internet and started looking for an alternative because I've tried it all. And then I found Dr. John McDougall in Santa Rosa, California, who had written a book called The Starch Solution. And I just thought by chance I'd send him an email, which I did. And then he sent one back and gave me a challenge. He said, "Do you think you could just try this for 10 days? And here's the other part. He said I could eat all I wanted and I would lose weight and get off medication."
Really?
And I was mad. And I decided I was going to prove him wrong because I was sick and tired of people telling me what to do to lose weight.
Yeah.
And so I did it. And I ate like you wouldn't like no tomorrow. And after 10 days, I only lost like 3 pounds in those 10 days, but my blood pressure dropped to 120/70. Because what I learned was it was the food was the problem, not my weight, but the food that I was eating.
Yeah. Okay, so, and all of this too led to a book that you wrote called Confession of a Starchivore. Tell me a little bit about that.
Confessions of the Starchivore is about the struggle I had with my whole life and how I became embarrassed. I mean, I was embarrassed just to partake in one of life's simple pleasures, which is eating food. And what I do in the book is I go from A to Z, from Dr. Atkins to the Zone. Every diet that I've been on and what happened and what my journey was to find this solution through the Starch Solution through Dr. McDougall. And you know what? With the new book, I've been stopped in the street and people have said, "You know what? I read your book twice," which I was kind of confused why. It's not that complicated. People said, "Because you get it. You know what it's like to be extremely fat and to be told what to do." And you know, Andy, when I very first started doing these presentations, people would get angry. And at first I thought they were angry with me. And then I realized they're not mad at me. They're tired of being told what they're doing is wrong. They're tired of spending money on empty promises. They're tired of ordering salads with dressing on the side, and they're tired of having their life on the side because it's not their fault. It's the food. And I talk about all of that in Confessions of a Starchivore.
And that's true too. There's so many offers out there to lose weight, this and that, blah blah blah, etc., etc. But it just doesn't work for a lot of people, and there must be millions or billions of dollars spent every year on weight loss itself. So this is why a lot of people want to really know what's going on. So with your program and what you have done and what you've learned along the way, how does it work, and who can do this?
First of all, I want to say you're absolutely right. There's billions of dollars that's spent in weight loss. And here's what I like. Dr. McDougall, his program's free. You can go online and get the program for free. What I do is, with my book and with individual counseling, I help people get through the process. Because in the beginning, some people are just perplexed on what to do. What do I do when I go out and things like that. And so with that, it is accessible to anyone and everyone, and you don't have to pay a lot of money for this. It's just eating good food and elimination of the foods that make people sick, which are meat, dairy, milk, cheese, and added oil. And that's it. That's the only thing that we're eliminating. So, people will say, God, what do you eat? I eat big bowls of mashed potatoes with gravy, pasta with marinara sauce. I make an incredible pizza. There's just no cheese, but I do have fake cheese because I make fake cheese. Cheese was the hardest thing for me to give up. And I learned why cheese is so addicting. And I explain that in Confessions of a Starchivore.
Okay, so is it really possible to lose weight just by eating carbs and doing some exercise?
Okay, and you know what? I'm glad you asked that, and I want to explain something. 80% of the success is going to be based on eating the food. Only like 20% exercise. Get off the couch. You don't have to go to a gym. There's a lot. Go for a walk. Do something you enjoy. Just move. As a human being, we're designed to move. But 80% is eating good, whole, starchy carbs and vegetables.
So my next question is probably a lot of people's questions, but they just don't ask it, and that is, what's really in the food that we eat, and why is it the way it is right now? So that is an excellent question, Andy, and I've been living in Spain for 10 years, and I've moved back here to the United States, and what I've seen that's happened to the food is appalling. First of all, we're not even eating food anymore. We're eating things that have been modified to stimulate our brain. If you look, the main ingredient on most of the food we're eating is marketing. And I saw two women at the grocery store standing at all this prepackaged food, and they said to each other, I wish they would invent something new to cook. And people aren't even preparing their foods. They're not even buying food that's locally grown. They're eating artificial manufactured food. I know you've seen all the articles about people who will buy a fast food burger and put it outside for a year and it never decomposes. I find that frightening. Right. Scary too. Okay, so you're around 60 years young, and you look great for your age. But is it possible to stop medication just like you claim, from what I've read, that you say you can stop medication in 10 days?
Well, first, thank you for the compliment. And if you look at my before pictures, I did not look so good. And when I woke up in the morning, I hurt, I ached, but I figured, hey, I'm 60. That's supposed to happen. And it doesn't have to. I don't hurt anymore, and I don't ache. And it wasn't my fat. It was the food I was eating. But is it possible? Quick answer is yes. And I had the opportunity to go to Santa Rosa, California, to Dr. McDougall's live-in clinic, and I got to witness 45 people go through the process of eating all you want 3 times a day, plus they had a room with just food in there. And you had a key. You could go in and get anything you wanted, whenever you wanted, 24/7, because it is about eating the food. And the people that were through that week, I got to watch them get off of a variety of medication. Now, I'm not trying to say all medication is bad. Dr. McDougall is an MD, and some patients need some types of medication. But in general, a lot of the medications we take, we don't need. Oh, by the way, my cholesterol right now is 112. So I don't need any medication for cholesterol either.
Wow, that's really great. Okay, let me ask you this. Before we go, do you have some recommendations as to how people should be eating and what they should be eating to even try to lose a little bit of weight? What should they do?
Well, I would say, the number one challenge is is to cut out dairy. And here's why dairy is so addicting. Did you ever wonder why a calf or a baby, or why they're so attracted to the mother for the milk? And the reason is because there's opiates in it. And so then if we get those opiates and then take everything out to where it's just little globs of fat, and then let's sprinkle some salt on it, our brain just has a major party when we eat it. So that's why we're like, wow, yeah, this is really good, because our brain is being stimulated. But dairy, I would say, I found for myself, was the hardest to give up, but I also think it's the most important to give up. And then the other thing I would recommend for people that are saying, oh, I'm not eating meat anymore, but I went and I bought this artificial meat that's been all chemically changed and everything. That's just as bad as the meat. We need to get back to whole foods. The cultures that have survived the longest survived on starches: rice, corn, potatoes, legumes, beans, and they don't even have the diseases that we face here today. And if those foods that I eliminated, everybody were to eliminate those, do you realize we would no longer have a healthcare crisis, because those are the foods that are causing us to get sick.
Well, unfortunately, on that note, being sick is not a good note to end this part of the segment. But I certainly really appreciate your joining us today, because there's so many people out there that really want to know really the truth of what's going on and how they can really lose weight. And we really appreciate you coming to the program today and taking your time out of your schedule and joining us. Thank you again.
It was my pleasure, Andy, and thank you. And remember, it's not your fault. It's the food. And love a potato.
Okay, thanks very much, Christopher Carnrick. Thank you.
Thank you.
We've been speaking with Christopher Carnrick, and he's a fitness expert, TV personality, and also an author of several books, including Confession of a Starchivore, which is available on Amazon. Well, proper diet and exercise throughout our lives, it really is vital. And certainly we learned a lot today talking to Christopher about this. And really, sometimes you have to give up something to get something back that's better in return. And certainly in this case, exercise really does go a long way. And that's our program for today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Andy Zajac. See you next time.